Good evening everyone and welcome to League of Europe. We are here for Division 1, Round 1, as we take in the Australian Grand Prix from the Melbourne circuit here, the Albert Park circuit. Good evening everyone, I'm James Hay, going to be taking you the stream, my third season here commentating on Division 1, and what a night we have in prospect with everyone out on track vying for the early bragging rights for the Division 1 title. I'll take you through who is going to be in what car. We have got a couple of minutes until qualifying, so let's crack on. In Division 1 this season, we have defending Division 2 champion Gary and Kvyat Campbell, former Division 2 champion, teaming up in the Mercedes. In the Ferrari, we have Suku and D. Daniel, both pairing, very good pairing there in the Ferrari. In the Red Bull, we have Baki and Kuka Games, who pushed Gary right to the limit, of course, last season in Division 2. In the McLaren, it is Kvyat Cohen and Dropien, old Dutch team there for McLaren. In the Renault is the returning Neo and Joom, very strong pairing I think that in the Renault. In the AlphaTauri we have Toxic and Verstappen, again another very consistent pairing there in the AlphaTauri. In the Racing Point we have Larkin and Waluigi, another consistent pairing there for the Racing Point team. It is an all Swiss affair for Alfa Romeo, it is Montana and Spine teaming up for the second season in a row. In the Haas, it is newcomer Rocco Reggie for real and ILRT Matty, both newcomers to Division 1. And in the Williams is our defending champion Alphatrix and Killer Blue, who again pushed Gary right to the limit for that Division 2 title last season. So plenty promotions. I think there's something like 7 former champions, or certainly 2 current champions with Gary and Alphatrix, but 5 former champions from Division 1 and Division 2, and from the PRL days as well, all going to be racing here tonight. And we have, of course, ahead of us 29 laps worth of action, 18 minutes worth of qualifying, 50% race, safety car is on, and it is dynamic weather, so we could expect rain, we could expect dry conditions. Goodness only knows how this is going to pan out, but I'm thrilled to be bringing the action once again this season for Division 1, and I cannot wait to get started. 25 seconds until we go here for qualifying. I was going to try and fit in a little interview with one of the drivers to try and sneak up on them, but I thought, nah, it's not going to be the best thing to do before we get into qualifying. But we do have the Albert Park circuit. 16 turns, 10 to the right and 6 to the left. 3 DRS zones, 1 down the start-finish straight, 1 down towards turn 3 each. Both of those are synced by the same detection point. There are only 2 detection points on the track, and the other detection point, being detection zone 1, is on the far side of the track, down the back straight towards turn 12 and 13. That is where the other DRS zone is at, and that is where probably we're going to get quite a lot of overtaking, possibly into turn 13. As long as the guys have a very stable setup around this track, I think everyone will be fine. Expect lap times around here, I would say into the 118s, 119s, possibly out on track for Australia, and it is going to be very interesting to see how our faces of old and new get on as we take in round 1 here of Division 1 for the Australian Grand Prix. So we're just waiting now on the drivers to ready up. Spine, by the way, I think has joined NSX since the break from League of Europe obviously being here. So he has joined NSX. I've just noticed that there within the lobby. So, as I say, an all Swiss affair for the Alfa Romeo team. And we are now into qualifying. 17 drivers here tonight. Let's see who is going to set the quickest times out on track. Looks like there's already activity there in the Irish garage of XL Gary, who looks like he could be one of the first ones to come out on track. The mechanics are getting ready as well in Kvyat Campbell, and there's quite a lot of mechanics now coming out of the respective pit garages, and I think a Racing Point is going to be first out on track. Unless I'm blind. No, there's an Alfa Romeo coming out first. It's Montana, our former champion of Division 2. The Swiss man will be hoping for a very good result. He's got Alphatrix to contend with once again this season. No Louis from last season either. So Montana might have a good job for second position. But, as I said, was on the podcast, I think there's quite a few drivers. Maybe some that are looking underneath the radar who are quite quick on this game, who could prove themselves to be leading contenders early on in the season. it all really bears into mind of how these guys are going to be getting on. But Montana is the first out on track, and we're right on board with the Swiss man as he comes now through turn 6 and 7, and on the run through turn 8, this right-hander. Count them up as we go along, by the way. I trust you. There are 10 to the right and 6 to the left, 16 turns in total. There were 15 corners in total back in the day, but they did decide to reclassify turn 14 as a turn. It's Montana now reaching turn 11 and 12. Invalidates his outlap here, but not too bad at all. You can see him getting heat into the tyres, and I think it's appropriate that we are going to go on board with our former champion from Division 2, who really had no competition, I've got to say, that season. Looking on what happened last season, of course, with Alphatrix and Louis really fighting it out in the last couple of races of the season. But now is the time for Montana to start us off. This is the first broadcast lap on F1 2020 here on League of Europe for Division 1, and it's now Montana who's set about on a lap here in Australia. Down towards turn 1. Already in excess of 200 mile an hour, braking nicely, catching the outside of the curb, lovely. And now Montana on the run down towards turn 3. You see the DRS being enabled once again at 195 mile an hour in the braking zone. Into turn 3, looking very nice indeed. Montana now coming through turn 4. And again, looking very much controlled coming through the end of the first sectors. He flies through turn 5 and then in towards 6, 7 and 8. 26 flat through the first sector, exactly where you want to be if you want to be setting a 118 or a 119 around here. Depends, to be honest. We could even see 117s. Montana now coming up towards turns 9 and 10. Really heavy on the brakes there. Beautiful by the Alfa Romeo man. Getting very close to the wall on the right-hand side. This is a purpose-built street track, as I say. So, you normally see buses and the likes going around. 47.4 through the middle sector for Montana. Let's try and board with him. Again, beautiful halo cam there, and here is the wide out shot coming down towards turn 13. Hard on the brakes, catches the inside of the apex very nicely, but you can tell this is a committed lap. You can tell he wants to make an impression early. Runs wide at turn 14, he can run wide there and pick up an invalidation. Montana hasn't done that, and now around the final corner, I think we're going to get a 118 to begin us off with, to be honest. Montana, around the final corner, what is the lap time going to be? It's a 118.8, very quick and consistent lap there for Montana. Got Toxic coming into the pit lane who invalidated. Just trying to pick up on anybody else through the final sector. Kooky Games is preparing up for a lap. He would have been going towards the top end of the field. Alphatrix goes 3/10 off Montana currently. Kooky Games would have set a 19.2, so he would have been well up there in there. Oh, and Kvyat Campbell is round. Campbell round through turn 15, and that is on the exit of turn 16. It looks like he's going to come back into the pit lane. He does. A beautiful new Mercedes-looking livery there. Droppier is on a lap, so is Killer Blue. Division 2 contender last season, and now the Brit will be hoping for a good result here. He is alongside our defending champion in Division 1, Alphatrix. Let's see what he can do. Lighting up the brakes down into turn 13. Hear the squeal of the car coming through turn 14. Looking very consistent so far at times. Montana on top, Alphatrix second, Gary third, Cohen and Rocco up into 4th and 5th. Killer Blue now around the final corner. Let's see what he's going to do across the line. I think he's going to slot into 3rd possibly here. Across the line, he actually just goes 2/10 slower than that and goes 6th. So the Williams goes 6th, but is bettered already by Neo. Could be a contender for the season ahead. And the German goes 3rd on his return with a 119.3. And he did win 2 of the pre-season races in both China and in France. Didn't win the one in Britain. It was Alphatrix who took the one in Britain, where I had my beautiful connection issue with Bullet Boy leaving the session. And he is in the lobby here tonight, I can see. Kooky Games back on a lap, it seems. Now coming around the final corner. Has the Slovenian getting on? Looks like he's going to come into the pit lane. Might have had a spin somewhere out on track. So now around the final corner and into the pit lane he comes. Gary will come in behind him. Let's go on board with Droppier coming through the middle sector. And again, I think he's another driver that is on a down lap possibly here. He hasn't set a time just yet. Half the grid have currently set times, but it's Montana out on top, Alphatrix second and Neo in 3rd. There is Baki, one of the newcomers just ahead of Droppier. And the newest feature actually, as we ride on board with Droppier, if he overtakes somebody, I'll show you it. We'll go on board actually with Baki, who looks to be as if he's going to overtake Neo possibly. You can actually see, we can look around on the camera, which is fantastic. I think it's a great addition to F1 2020. You can see some good moves. We're going to try and provide you with some dynamic camera angles here tonight. Backy around the final corner, not preparing up for lap. Him and Neo are in, and in fact they all come in, because the McLaren of Droppier is into the pit lane as well. Bullet Boy missed his lap, but a 1:19.4 puts him in 4th. A little bit of a glitch there on the timings I saw. It's 1,000th quicker on the left-hand side compared to the right-hand side. It was a 1:19.430, but rounded up to 1:19.429 for Bullet Boy. Spine through turn 1 and now through turn 2. Looking good. The Alfa Romeo as now comes down towards turn 3. Let's see what lap time he's going to be setting here. Of course, Montana, his teammate, out on top currently in qualifying. Spine comes through turn 4, nicely controlled again. Not as quick, I would say, through there as Montana. Let's see how the first sector lies up. 26.1, yeah, about a 10th off Montana currently, but Spine coming through the first sector, now into the middle sector, through turn 8, and now towards chicane at turns 9 and 10. Could be an overtaking opportunity down towards turn 9, just misses the apex slightly. Cameron White then pick up an invalidation, but Spine managing control of that very nicely indeed. I'll shut up through turn 11 and 12. Here the lift, and he's invalidated coming through turn 11 it seems. Was purple in the middle sector, probably indicative on his personal best rather than quicker than Montana through the middle sector. The Spine will keep on board with him though in the meantime. I think we've got Campbell on the lap coming through the middle sector as well. So we'll go on board with him in just a second. Spine now around the final corner. Let's see what lap time this would have been. And he jukes me into the pit lane. Fantastic. Campbell, the Scotsman. Let's see what he's going to be doing. Of course, Campbell, now a new GT Sport, ahead of GT Sport, I should say. He's got a Red Bull just ahead of him, which is Kuki Games. Shouldn't get in the way at all. Toxic goes second, just ahead of Alpha Trix by a 10th of a second. Nice lap from Toxic. Campbell now around the final corner. He's going to be well up there here with this lap. Campbell across the line, goes second. 1:18.9. We'll be very chuffed with that lap. And the Mercedes goes second, just behind Montana. And this is where, really, we're going to see the main title contenders begin to come out to play. Dakar coming around the final corner. Got Verstappen coming around the final corner as well, just in behind. Dakar coming across the line. He's a reserve in the Renault tonight. Goes 5th. Let's see what Verstappen's going to do. Verstappen goes 5th, just ahead of Dakar. Alpha Trix was on a lap. 900 up coming through the middle sector. Now through into the final sector. Through turns 11 and 12. Really flew through there. And he's got to try and go 2-3 tenths quicker than Montana, which is a hard task in its own right, judging by Montana's pace currently around here so far. Bit of a lift there through turn 14, but now Alpha Trix into the final 2 corners. You can see the lines there of where the racing line actually is, and Alpha Trix now coming around the final corner. I have a feeling this might go top. Alpha Trix across the line, second, and he's 200ths of a second off in the end. Not a bad lap there by Alpha Trix at all. And he goes 200ths behind Montana out on track. Kuki Games, by the way, is also on a lap. He's coming around the final couple of corners. The Slovenian, who of course was ex-Division 1, demoted to Division 2, back into Division 1 this season. If you have followed his story, Kuki Games coming across the line, looks quick on this game, and indeed proves that. 1:19.1. Goes 5th in the Red Bull. Very nice lap there from Kuki Games. We are halfway through qualifying. It is Montana on top, Alpha Trix in second, Campbell in third, Toxic 4th, and Kuki Games rounding off your top. And spreading out the field, 1.1 seconds separate 16 drivers out on track tonight. Droppier, if we ride on board with him coming through the middle sector, is on a lap. We've seen an improvement, I think, there from Bullet Boy going 9th with a 1:19.4. The Haas going across the line there to set a 1:19.4. 6 tenths off Montana at this stage. Droppier through the middle sector. 47.7, not too bad through the middle sector. Oh, and he invalidates through turn 12 and he spins and the car is out of the session. Droppier is out, the rear wheel going behind. That was a bit of a weird one, to be honest. Nearly flipped up into the air and Droppier is out of the session. The first victim of turn 12 and probably not the last victim either here tonight. So we ride on board with NSX Spine. It's now coming down towards turn 3. Try and ride on board with some of the other guys as well. I think that was Luigi going up into 11th position there, so nice up there from him. Killer Blue goes 9th as well. But we ride on board with Spine, probably one of the main contenders for the win here. Spine coming through the first sector, 26.1, slightly slower than his invalid lap time, but looking good through turns 7 and 8, and now through, this is turn 8, now coming up towards turns 9 and 10. We ride on board with him on TV Pod. And Spine looking very nice through there. Let's see what the Alfa Romeo man can do. Montana, Alpha Trix, Campbell still your top 3 if you are just tuning in to Division 1 tonight. Division 3 and 4 are also live, by the way, on the channel if you want to go and show them some support. But if you want to stay here and show the top tier your support, and that is absolutely fine by me. I will have no quarrels about you jumping in between streams or having a dual monitor or anything like that. Spine now coming around turn 14. Looking very good through that middle sector. Really attacked through turn 12. Now coming up towards turns 15 and 16. This is going to be well up there, I think, from Spine. Coming around the final corner. I think he might go 4th possibly with this lap. Spine across the line, goes 7th, so just actually shy of what I predicted, so Spine goes 7th. Quite close actually between Bullet Boy, Kuki and Spine, 400ths of a second, separating 5th to 7th, and in Verstappen, there's hardly a 10th and a half, separating 5th to 8th there, so very nice lap time indeed, and it's the same case with Dakar, Gary and Neo as well. Both Renaults are yet to come out. Dakar is out in the outlap currently, and he is going to be your Division 2 commentator once again this season, voted by you guys, the League of Europe fans, as your commentator of the season. Again, I have no quarrels about that at all, but we shall try and pick up on board with somebody that is on a lap possibly. Montana coming through the final sector. Not sure what his middle sector was like, but he'd be hoping for an improvement here, the Alfa Romeo man, and the former champion aiming to try and put his car on the front row of the grid. First time since the pre-season races, I think. Montana around the final 2 corners. Just missed the apex slightly and backs out of that lap, I should say. Montana into the pit lane. Didn't look happy, I think, with that middle sector. And then to the final sector, certainly. Just missed the apex into turn 15. Must have been down on his time and he's decided to come into the pit lane. Might be the best strategy to do, to be honest, because he has got another... he's got at least a 2-minute buffer there. Alphatrix is on a lap. Campbell as well. Dakar is 9th with a 119.3, so nice lap time there by Dakar. I think he's invalidated on this lap. We'll go back on board though with our defending champion, Alphatrix, who runs the curb coming through turn 4, now through turn 5, and then up the slight incline towards turn 6. 500s up through the first sector. That already is theoretically better than Montana, so he's already setting the quicker lap time. Is Alphatrix going to be the one to beat once again this season? Predictions on a postcard, please, within the comment section. Alphatrix now coming through towards turns number 11 and 12. And let's just hear the lift of the Williams coming through here. Oh, really committed through that. I thought he nearly invalidated that lap, but a 10th of a second up coming through the middle sector. Alphatrix is on an absolute flyer lap here. Is the Brit going to go quicker than Montana? It looks inevitable, to be honest, but nothing said and done in Formula 1. Alphatrix now coming around the final couple of corners. Are we on board with our qualifying pole lap? Alphatrix around the final corner, flies it at the final corner. This is looking impressive. Could be an 18.6, I think, from Alphatrix across the line. 18.7. Improved by 300ths in the final sector, but he goes top. Alphatrix ahead of Montana. It's same old in League of Europe Division 1. Kuki Games is out on an outlap. Early actually on an outlap here, the Red Bull driver. Currently in 6th. He's only 400ths of a second off Bullet Boys. Can easily improve. We should see quite a few drivers begin to set into the 118s. There, it is a second, less than a second, covering all 17 drivers that have set a lap. Dropier, by the way, if you're just tuning in and a fan of him, he spun through turn 12, and the rear of the car actually nearly got flipped up in the air, and the rear left tyre came off that car. So Dropier not taking part in the session. He will be starting, definitely in 18th position, unless there's a 5-second grid penalty picked up for anyone ahead of him. Kuki Games now round the final corner. Slovenian about to set a nice lap time here, as he now prepares to go on to this lap. So running down towards turn 1. 200 mile an hour down towards turn 1. Not the quickest we've seen down towards turn 1. Might be going for more cornering based setup than a speed setup around here, which is the best plan, I think. Kuki Games now through turn 4. Turn 3, a little bit of a lock up there, now through turn 4. And again, looking very nice through there, a little bit squirrely on the exit, but through turn 5, to be honest, the setup is not looking that great. He's 300ths down, not too bad through the first sector. And he's invalidated coming out of turn 7. So Kuki Games has invalidated on his lap time. So that means he's not on a lap and is retired out on track actually. So Kuki Games retires out on track. He will pull off to the side here. Or he should do. He should pull off to the side any second now. We'll run on board with him until he does. There we go. He pulls off into that escape route. So the car no longer taking into qualifying anymore. We're on board though with Bullet Boy, who has just gone on to a lap. And then, in fact, actually, no, he's not on a lap. I think he just came out of the pit lane, actually, so that's a bit of a glitch there from Bullet Boy's end. Currently in 5th, though. Baki, however, is on a lap, so we're on board with the pole. Newcomer. Suku is his name, of course, in the Red Bull. He has changed his PSN ID, so that might need updating on the graphics, but Baki coming through turns 3 and 4. Again, looking a little bit squirrely out of turn 4. There's a yellow flag just ahead, which will be for a Haas getting out of the way. That's Bullet Boy. Baki 4,000s down through the first sector. Looking good. We're going to run on board with the main protagonist as we approach the end of qualifying here. It's Alphatrix on top, Montana second, Campbell in third. Pretty much, as I say, same old, same old. Toxic, though, could set a good lap. I think we've just passed him there, actually, just in behind. There's the AlphaTauri of Toxic. Oh, and there's Spine out of the session, it seems. He's lost front wing coming out of turn 9. Baki purple through the middle sector. He's 4,000s down, though. Beautiful through turn 12. And now coming through towards the kink at turn 13. This right-hander, once again, looking beautiful through there, Baki. Now towards 14 and 15. And again, looking very much controlled. We've got Campbell and Montana on laps. I think Montana might have just started his. Campbell is coming around the first couple of corners, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Baki towards the line. Goes quicker. Up to 8th he goes. Montana in the first sector, Campbell in the middle sector. Toxic, Bullet Boy across the line, 119.1, but he just came out of the pit lane, so don't judge that by anything. Alphatrix is on an out lap as well. We'll run on board with Rocco, who was actually on a lap. He's in the middle sector, but we'll cut to Campbell, who's coming through the final sector. We'll go on board with some of the protectors further down the field, but Campbell now coming up towards the final couple of corners. Through turn 13, now through 14 and 15, Dakar has gone 3rd and Verstappen has gone 4th. So good lap times there by a Division 2 commentary team. Dakar and Verstappen, only 200ths of a second separating. Campbell now around the final corner, looking very good out the final corner. To be honest, this could be looking quicker than Alphatrix across the line. Oh, he goes 2nd, just off. There's Williams off in the background of shot. Not sure who that was. Montana improving by 500ths. Needs to find a 10th of this to try and break Alphatrix's heart. Montana coming across the line. Goes quickest. 118.6. Alphatrix now to respond, and he doesn't because he's invalidated on a lap, and that means Montana will be your pole setter no matter what happens. Toxic is round through turn 12 as we ride on board with a Mercedes there. Bullet Boy is on a lap coming around the final couple of corners. Spine up to 9th. Cohen up to 13th, I think, with that lap as well. Bullet Boy now around the final corner, coming across the line. He improves by only 1400ths of a second. Gary is on a lap, but he's he hasn't invalidated. He's certainly not going to finish this off with style. He's not improving at all. Larkin has invalidated, and that, I think, is everyone. Yeah, that is everyone. So Montana is your pole sitter and has outgunned Alphatrix in the first race of the season. Former champion defeats new champion, or current champion, in qualifying. Fantastic stuff. So Montana has got pole position. Alphatrix second, Campbell in third. Let me have a look at the comment section, see how you guys have been doing on this fine and sultry, once again, Saturday night this time. Let me have a look and see how you guys are doing. Let's see some of the comments. Spine saying his brake got stuck and he had to restart his wheel and they put me into the wall. So that's why we saw him on his out lap go into the wall. Just having a look, that was the biggest fluke ever, says Dakar. Good qualifying though from Dakar. And Jav saying, hello League of Europe, I'm a big fan. And Montana is the one that has set pole position. 500ths of a second separating Montana and Alphatrix on the front row of the grid. Look at how close, though, qualifying actually is. So Montana out on top in the Alfa Romeo, from Alphatrix in second. Campbell, great qualifying from him in third, with Dakar in fourth and Verstappen rounding off the top 5. It's Toxic in sixth, with Bullet Boy in seventh, Kooky Games in eighth. Spine in ninth, will inevitably improved, I think, if he got his wheel going. Gary in 10th, Baki in 11th, with Larkin in 12th, Cohen in 13th, Neo in 14th, Killer Blue in 15th, Rocco in 16th, New Waluigi in 17th, 9/10 of a second separating everyone. That's at a lap time. Droppier, of course, dropped it, sadly, through turn 12 and didn't take part in the session and didn't set a lap time, so he starts from the back of the field. As we now get towards the formation lap, it is now time to make your predictions in the comments section. I'd love to hear your top 3 and who you think might get the driver of the day vote at the end of this session. And if we can get a weather update as well, that'd be fantastic. But we have got 17 drivers in about to do our business here tonight, which should be quite good. I think, actually, have we got 18? I'm not sure why I'm miscounting somebody. No, we have got 18 drivers in the session. Unless I'm... I think Cohen might have joined, possibly. Cohen might be the one that has joined late on. There was 17. There's definitely now 18 here, so I think there might have been a pop-up on the bottom. Cohen, I don't think was in qualifying, so maybe drop you in. Cohen going to be starting from the back of the field. If I'm mistaken, I will find out in about 10 seconds' time, so don't worry about that at all. As we now get into the formation lap, and we'll better see what tyres everyone is on. Of course, top 10 remaining on that qualified set of tyres. And there is a Haas at the back of shot, and it's Bullet Boy who is at the back of the field. But Montana out on top, Alphatrix second, Campbell in third. Bullet Boy actually might have disconnected from the session, and that's why he's joined back in. So that might be why. Cohen in 12th. I do apologise about that. I knew it was somebody that might have rejoined or something, but let's have a look at the tyre strategies for everyone. Of course, top 10 picking on the same set of tyres. Bullet Boy there is in 18th position. I'm not sure if there's a bit of a glitch going on. There's a particular pit stop strategy. Lap 9 to lap 11 for a set of hards to get to the end. Lap from a 2-stop. Lap 8 to lap 11 on a set of softs, I think that was. And then lap 11 to 16 possibly on a set of mediums. But I think one stop might be the way to go around here. You should see the first pit stop happen around lap 7, lap 8 possibly. Maybe even sooner than that. Our tyres tend to last around 21, 22 laps in total. Let's have a look then and see what you guys are saying in the comment section just before we get in. Alphatrix first, Montana second, Verstappen in third, say Jav. And Bullet Boy did get disconnected and it's put him in 18th position. So that is unfortunate. He's starting from the back and I think it's starting him on the same set of tyres he qualified on. So that might be something that we need to look into maybe for a restarted lobby. But I don't think we will restart the lobby because he's in and he's going to be fine, hopefully out on track. My top 3 though, this is what you've been looking forward to I think since I started commentary. My top 3, as we see the predicted pit stop strategy again, lap 16 to 19, sorry, was the one to a set of mediums, lap 8 to 11 on a set of softs. But my top 3, I'm going to go Alphatrix for the win, Montana second, and for third, I'm going to go Toxic for third, the other AlphaTauri. I think he's that car. Let's have a look at everyone rejoining on back onto the grid, into their grid positions now. And we are just moments away from the race beginning. Fasten onto your seatbelts. We are in for fantastic season here. Division 1, round 1 is about to go green, and the 5 red lights are about to go on. Here we go. Division 1 is underway, and Montana gets a great start, but Alphatrix gets a fantastic start off the line as well. We see the graphics glitch, and Alphatrix and Montana trying to cut across there on Alphatrix, but Alphatrix trying to go around the outside. Montana forced off slightly. Bit of a glitch going on between them, perhaps. Both Racing Point ran out wide, which I think might have been Larkin dropping down positions. Montana trying to go around the outside of Alphatrix through turn 3, but Alphatrix leads, and it's Montana second. The Red Bull in behind is Kuka Games and Dakar. Kuka Games has made a great start, and the ball's into the wall. And Dakar has been caught up in Linson with Kuka Games. The ghosting system completely failing there. And that should be, I think, a VSC, but it's not. But we're back on the way. Goodness me. Alphatrix leads, Montana second, Verstappen in third, Gary into fourth, Larkin in fifth. Dramatic start. Toxic trying to go around the outside here with turn 9 and 10. Great move by Toxic. Pulls off the move on Larkin. Up to fifth he goes. Chaos and carnage through for the first sector into turn 5. But it's Alphatrix who leads on lap 1, not lap 2. And Montana second, Verstappen in third. Rocco right on the back of Neo, I think. And that is failing me completely, as Dakar has made a mistake with his front wing damage. Campbell, Backy are through. Campbell dropping all the way down. Easily caught up in Linson as well. Not much that I can really do about that, to be honest, in terms of the glitching out on the ghosting system. It is atypical, I think, of Codemasters. But across the line, To start lap 2, officially, it is Alphatrix who leads. Montana second, Verstappen third, Gary fourth, Toxic fifth, Larkin in sixth, with Neo in 7th, Rocco in 8th, Spine in 9th, Baki in 10th. We're on board though with Campbell, as the yellow flag in sector 3, which is Bullet Boy, who is round through turn number 14. But here's Campbell on the back of Baki. Is he going to try and get the move done down the inside? No, Baki locks up. Could give Campbell a look in here down towards turn 4, but no, Baki remains in position. Campbell stays in 11th position for now, Baki in 10th. Good racing so far. Obviously a bit of a glitch up with the ghosting system. Bullet Boy is out of the session as well. He's retired, I think. Has he crashed into the pit wall, I wonder? There's a Renault coming out of the pits, of course, that is Dakar. So no VSC, no safety car by the looks. We've got Toxic chasing down Gary. This could be quite interesting. The Division 2 champion against Toxic, who did deliver some good performances last season, was rather inconsistent at times. But hopefully he's going to put his inconsistency behind him. He's got a good gap to Larkin in behind as well. Gary 4th. Toxic in 5th. As we see, Spine getting the move done down the inside there of Rocco. That's a good move there. As, actually, Rocco fights back down the inside. The newcomer through and he's up to 8th position. Rocco delivering on his good racecraft once again. The Hassman is through and he's up into 8th position. Fantastic start. Spine now down to 9th. As a result, I'm not sure if he's got right side end plate damage, actually. Just looking in, no, he doesn't. Campbell is into the pits early. And now Toxic on the back of Gary once again. Using overtake mode to try and get past the Irishman against the Brit. And can the Brit go down the inside here? Toxic down on the inside line. Gary on the outside line. Relinquishes the position. Could be quite smart from Gary. Could run the DRS towards turn 13. But Toxic through and he's up to P4. Makes quite light work, I'm going to say, of Gary. But a good move nonetheless by the AlphaTauri on the Mercedes. It is Alphatrix though who leads. 7/10 of a second from Montana in second. Montana trying to keep Alphatrix right on his toes. Roughly around the same in terms of ERS deployment, and we mean about ERS, the energy recovery system. When they break into the corners, the energy recovers itself. It's as simple as that. If you are brand new to Formula 1, Montana on the back of Alphatrix. Stepping in third, there's Toxic flying through our camera shot. Spine though, trying to get onto the back of Rocco once again. Rocco outgunned him through turn 13 last time. Or turn 14 it was. And now Spine trying to outgun him once again. Not going to get that move done. Quite an easy start to the race, to be honest. Alphatrix leads. Montana second, Verstappen in third position. We now come towards the start of lap 4. Spine right on the attack now. On the back of Rocco. There is Baki in behind. A little way down. And now we see the speed of Spine. And there goes Rocco behind him. Spine is through and he's up into 8th position. The soft compounder tyres really come into play, but now Rocco could have another run at him down towards turn 3. But Spine with the DRS, Rocco chooses not to fight. To be honest, I would have had a try to look in there. Spine running a little too deep there through turn 3. Rocco is up into Spine up to 8th place. Rocco down to 9th as a result of that. Back on board with the leaders. Alphatrix leads. Montana in second, Verstappen third, Toxic fourth, Gary 5th, Larkin 6th. Neo, Spine, Rocco, Baki, your top 10 currently. As we see Montana with Toxic cleaning up the first 3-second time penalty of the night. Montana is on the back of Alphatrix here. And he can hear the difference in the lines taken through there. Alphatrix a little bit more committed, Montana not so. He's beginning to pull that gap to 0.4 of a second. Got to be honest, from a visual perspective, that does not look like 0.4 of a second. That looks more. But trust me, it is. Montana right on the back, really locking up the brakes there. Beautifully done. And he's now pressurising Alphatrix. And I never thought I'd see this. Alphatrix under pressure from the former champion. But are we going to start how we finished off in Brazil? Alphatrix against Montana. We saw a terrific battle between these two last season in Division 1. And it looks like we're about to go once again. Oh, Montana getting caught on the AstroTurf on the inside of through turn 2. How on earth he recovered that car is absolutely beyond me. That is the style of a former champion right there. Montana holds still in P2. And he really has not lost any time at all. Alphatrix would be counting his lucky stars, I think. And certainly Montana will be counting his. As we see a battle for 10th position, Baki getting the switchback, I think, there on Cohen, and he's back up into 10th position. Everyone else, by the way, just looking at the graphics on the left-hand side, you can probably see that everyone is on 0 laps. They're not on 0 laps, they are on the same amount of laps as everyone bar Campbell and Dakar, who have been into the pits early. Cohen then on the back of Baki. This is for 10th position. Of course, I do believe the top 12 get points once again here in League of Europe. I haven't read the points, so please clarify for me on that one. But Cohen on the back of Baki. And to be honest, it could turn into a bit of a papaya-coloured sandwich, I think, for the Red Bull man. As Cohen flies through our camera shot to try and chase Baki. He's not going to be close enough, though, on the run down towards turn 10. But somebody that might be is Neo on the back of Larkin. This is down towards turn 15, the final 2 corners out on track. We should begin to see the first pit stops, by the way, happen out on track. Neo really controlling those mediums nicely. He's on the back of Larkin. Thought he was going to be closer out to the final corner, but Larkin hangs on to 6th for now. Neo in 7th. AlphaTrix leads, Verstappen at Montana in 2nd, Verstappen 3rd, Toxic in 4th. Toxic really going to get closer to his teammate out on track. Now Neo on the back of Larkin, and Larkin stays in position for now. He's up into 6th position. Let's have a look at position gains actually early on. There are the position gains, and 6 position gains for both Neo and Rocco. Neo having a bit of a poor qualifying, to be honest, I think. He's now really getting on his back as Larkin just cuts across the grass there slightly. Might have been a warning for him. But this is Neo's opportunity. He showed really good pace, and to be honest, he was quickest out of everyone, I would say, in the pre-season races. Obviously, Montana and AlphaTrix didn't attend 1 or 2, but Neo was the quickest. He was the best of the rest, pretty much, in those 2 pre-season races that he won, and now he's about to put it to good use. Let's see what pace he's got on the run towards turn 13. I think he can see where this one is going to go, to be honest. Neo down on the inside line. Larkin might have to give him room. Force him off track slightly. Larkin is still there on the outside, but Neo is through. Beautifully done. Beautifully defended in the end by the German. And he's through, and he's up into 6th position as Montana flies into the pit lane from 2nd position out on track. So Montana is in, and the pit window I don't think is open just yet. So Montana banking early and goes for a set of hards, which will get him to the end of the race, and he should be out in very clean air indeed. Racing Point of Waluigi is coming past him, and he is fighting with Killer Blue on the run down towards turn 1. Let's see if Waluigi can get the move done on Killer Blue. Williams gets a superior run there coming out of turn 2, and now Waluigi is not catching Killer Blue by any stretch of the imagination there at all. Montana has came out in 13th and looking for some, but Toxic really applying pressure now to the back of Verstappen as we get on board with the tyres once again. Toxic in 3rd with Verstappen in 2nd, Neo in 4th, 3.3 seconds down. Cohen has been overtaken by Dropier, might have been team orders there. Dropier is through and he's up to 9th. You can see the lift bill through turn 11, Verstappen. Toxic just down in a gear there coming out of turn 12. Try to get the run out of the corner. He might be just firing a warning shot at his teammate, and they're going to have to work this out. If they're both in the same party, one of them is going to have to blink before the other. To be honest, I would see Verstappen into the pits first. Toxic looks like he's got the pace. AlphaTrix is in from the lead of the race. Verstappen is in, and now Toxic will set about in clear air in the final lap of the in the final sector of the race, I should say. As now he comes on to lap 8 to lead across the line. Toxic leads, Neo in 2nd, Larkin in 3rd. AlphaTrix then onto a set of hard compound tyres, a lap fresher than Montana, who is coming out the final corner. This could be quite close on exit. I don't think it will be though. AlphaTrix is there. Right, we'll try and get on board with him if we can. There is Montana coming out of the pit lane right behind AlphaTrix, and now Montana with the overrun and the overspeed is going to try and get this pass. This is from the lead of the race for 10th position, currently out on track. Montana trying to seal it all the way around the outside. He tried this on lap 1. Can he get the move done? Brilliant move by Montana. Outguns the current champion, the former champion coming alive against the current champion, and this is going to be very intriguing to see. Montana and AlphaTrix in clear air. They've got to help each other at this point. They're going to be gaining on Waluigi hand over fist, but now Montana and AlphaTrix bring it on. That's what I say. This is going to be a fantastic battle, and if you guys are just tuning in and don't know the story behind these guys, Montana won the Division 1 title in Season 2. AlphaTrix won last season's title in Division 3. So this is a battle of the champions, basically, between these guys. Toxic leads the way, Neo in 2nd. Gary, by the way, is already pitted as well. He's on a lap older tyres than Verstappen, who's got like 2.5 seconds ahead of him. But Gary doing a good job currently out on track. I'll be on for net P6 and P7 when these guys begin to come into the pits. Toxic still feels as if he's got life in those tyres, and he goes on to lap 9 to lead the race. And he could be actually, longer term, in a really good position to try and get this move done later on in the race, and he could be out behind some of these guys like Montana and Alphatrix and probably Verstappen as well. He wants to slot in right behind Verstappen. If he slots in behind Gary, he's been undercut. It's as simple as that. Alphatrix now on the back of Montana once again. We'll cut on board though with Waluigi, who's trying to put up a fight here to Killer Blue. Killer Blue has not been in, and neither has Waluigi, so both of these on the same amount of laps and on the same amount of tyres as well. On the same compound of tyres, I should say, both on a set of mediums. Mediums will tend to get you to around lap 14 at the earliest, maybe lap 13 if you pardon the pun, but Waluigi on the back of Killer Blue. Now the Belgian on back of the Williams. I'm going to see a possible move here down in towards turn 13. Should open up the taps around about now if he was to pull off the move. Toxic has picked up a 3-second time penalty out of turn 14. He should be coming into the pit lane though. You can see it on the mini-map. I think Toxic has continued on for at least another lap. He's losing time. I would have came in earlier, to be honest. So this is really going to help Verstappen possibly longer term. Killer Blue into the pits from 8th position. And he's on a set of mediums. Could he be going 2-stop, I wonder? He can't go mediums to mediums because that's against the rules completely. So this will be quite interesting from Killer Blue. He's into the pit lane. The car is going to go on to a set of hard. So Killer Blue actually blinks very early indeed. Changes up the strategy and changes front wing damage as well. Very light front wing damage if it was. Killer Blue now out of the pits. Campbell coming past him as I try and ride on board with Dakar as he comes out the pit lane. There is Dakar, and there's Dakar there, and there he goes. Killer Blue now back out in P16. So both Bullet Boy and Kuka Games currently out of the race, which means we're down to 16. There is Toxic though out in front. The AlphaTauri will be hoping for a good result here out on track. I think he might have just overdone it, to be honest, though, with his strategy. He's losing time to Neil. The medium's now beginning to come into play. I would have pitted, honestly, a lap or two ago for Toxic. You see the lock up there down into turn 13. You can see Neil as he runs, actually, into the pit board. And Toxic really beginning to feel the effects. I'm surprised, actually, there's no front wing damage to that car. Toxic now should come in, and he does. Toxic is in from the lead of the race. Droppier, in the meantime, is on the back of laps now. Montana has gained 0.5 of a second on Alphatrix for the net lead of the race, but here comes Droppier on the back of Baki, and I think Droppier is just going to hang on in position here and possibly get on the run down towards turn 3. He's got his teammate in behind as well. To be honest, I would be of orders to go for the move now rather than anyone else, but Droppier using up the DRS, not really using up the overtake mode to good effect. Baki runs a little bit too deep. Here comes Droppier. Trying to go around the outside, switches it back. He's trying to be very considerate of the car ahead and of his teammate behind as well. They're really beginning to fight here. Coming through the end of the first sector. Droppier 3/10 down on his personal best, but currently in 4th position. Toxic, by the way, did pit and did get ahead of Gary, so that was important to him. And he's got onto a set of mediums again. So Toxic onto a set of mediums again. Sorry, from a set of softs onto a set of mediums. That's going to be quite tricky. 18 laps on a set of mediums. Not saying he can do it, he probably can, but they're going to be quite worn towards the end of the race. Droppier just fighting the car there through turn 12. Very surprised actually that we haven't seen anyone spin through turn 12. As we ride on board with our champion from last season, Alphatrix, against Montana. And these guys are catching Waluigi, as I say, hand over fist. As we are about to go on to lap 12. Larkin leads, Rocco second, Baki third, Droppier fourth, Cohen in fifth, Waluigi sixth. Those 6 still yet to pit. But now, is Alphatrix close enough for a move here on the back of Montana? You can probably see him just use up the overtake mode to good effect to try and run him down. Very high 7th gear, upset into 8th. And now we'll try and get the move done down in towards turn 3. Droppier, by the way, is through on Baki. There he goes past. Alphatrix now trying to get the move done on Montana. He's not close enough. Neil was through on Gary as well. There's quite a lot of battles beginning to happen here out on track. Neil will pick up the slipstream. Is Spine close enough for go on Gary? On the brakes, yes, but not for the move. Spine still in P13. These guys are running currently net P6, P7. So Gary currently on for a good result in his first race since returning to Division 1. Of course, he was a Division 1 driver in Season 2. Now, of course, winning the title, automatically getting that promotion up to Division 1. And he's still on the pace, it seems, the Irishman. Has had quite a bit of I would say bit of unlucky races, to be honest, within TTML. When I've been covering them in Division 2. He had a wretched first race in Australia. Fought it back in Vietnam, though, 2 nights ago. And Spine here on the back of Gary. Again, he's not looking that close enough for the move. Neil, by the way, looks like he might be gaining slightly on Toxic. 2.9 seconds the gap. Toxic's going to set a medium. He's got his teammate just ahead. And it's going to be quite intriguing here. Are these guys going to fight for position? The AlphaTauri team, Stappen and Toxic. Don't think they will down in towards turn 1. Bit of a lock up there from Toxic. Just got to try and control the car. And see him fiddling about there, trying to change the ERS mode, I think. Toxic now running down once again in towards turn 3. And not close enough to the back of Verstappen. Montana now on the back of Waluigi. And this is going to be quite interesting. Waluigi obviously hasn't pitted just yet. Now there's the guys ahead either. So Montana and AlphaTrix are running now into what I like to call their first round of traffic. Because Waluigi is one of those guys that will tend to hold the drivers up. He will not tend to give up without a fight. And now Montana has got to try and make this stick sooner rather than later. You'll see the difference in the tyres coming through turn 12. And Waluigi actually pulls away slightly, but now overtake mode being used up here by Montana, and look at that. Easy as you like, I think, from the Alfa Romeo. Waluigi sees him coming. Montana is through, has disposed of Waluigi, and now Waluigi will not get out of the way of AlphaTrix. So this could be quite interesting. AlphaTrix now beginning to get held up. The more he gets held up, the more that Montana will be advantageous towards the end of the race. But AlphaTrix now is going to try and line up a move on Waluigi, and in the blinking of an eye, it has literally gone. Yeah, AlphaTrix is through and he's up to 7th, basically. Toxic trying to get onto the back of Verstappen. Maybe trying to get into the head of his teammates, actually, here out on track. He's right on board as well with Spine coming down towards turn 1. Alfa Romeo really looking quite quick on the back of Gary here. Gary's just got to be careful, and now Spine will use up that overtake mode to good effect. Toxic through on his teammate, and now Spine is through on Gary, surely down in towards turn 3. Yeah, lovely stuff by Spine. He's through and he's up into P12 out on track. Fantastic stuff by Spine, getting past Gary for position. Now I think it's for net P5, if I'm not mistaken, out on track. No, net P6 I should say. Spine now through on Gary for that net P6. Cohen trying to get onto the back of Baki. These guys still yet to pit in. We are now pretty much at the halfway stage. Larkin leads, Rockwell 2nd, Dropier 3rd, Baki 4th, Cohen 5th, Montana in 6th position. So we've got about 25 minutes worth of racing, I would say, left. Maybe less than that. But Larkin currently leading, Rockwell 2nd, Dropier in 3rd position. Cohen around the final corner though. Just losing a little bit of time there on the back of Baki. Spine picks up a 3-second time for the out of turn 14. Now, Cohen is close enough, but not close enough for the move. Could be close enough down towards turn 3 perhaps. Uses up the overtake mode. I mean, he's been concerned with his ERS. He better go for the move. Otherwise, this is quite foolish. We see Dropier and Rocco having a little bit of a set too. Dropier is through on Rocco up to P2. Just saw that in the foreground of shot there. These two cars just ahead of Baki and Cohen, who we're on board with. Locking through. And he's into the lead of the race still. Dropier 2nd, Rocco 3rd. But Dropier now up to 2nd as a result of that move on Rocco. It's a good move there. Still staying quite consistent in behind as well. Montana and AlphaTrix 6th and 7th. Montana will be hoping that AlphaTrix does not have the good pace that he was having the whole of last season, because Montana, to be honest, wasn't looking like a champion last season. He's now beginning to look like a champion once again, with AlphaTrix now beginning to hunt him down. AlphaTrix younger than Montana, and the young blood of the current champion beginning to hunt down the former champion from season 2. But got a little bit quiet, I think, to be honest. Larkin leads onto lap 16 we go. It's really intriguing to see how Montana and Alphatrix play their cards, because they are catching Cohen and Baki, and they've got to be careful because Baki and Cohen are fighting themselves. But out on track, Alphatrix is on the back of Montana, and he'll be hoping to try and get the move done very soon indeed. As we ride on board, just having a look with everyone. Yeah, just seeing some of the comments as well. Seeing you guys really enjoying the action currently out on track. And Division 3, by the way, is also live. Safety car currently out in force. Mark leads, EduK second, YHYY in third. YHYY, of course, being former Division 1. Kuka Games saying he thought he would start 8th and not 7th because Bullet Boy, I think, got disconnected. That is why he started in 7th. So just to clarify on that, I think there might have been maybe a little bit of a glitch in the game, but you can see now Montana beginning to get closer physically to Baki and Cohen. Beautiful shot there of Alphatrix flying through turns 11 and 12. And once again, I think we're going to get ourselves ready for battle between Montana and Cohen. But the more these guys hold up Montana, the more Alphatrix will close in. He's got a little bit of breathing space, to be honest. It's only 8/10, but he is running clearer air compared to Montana. These guys now latch on to the back of a train, which is for 3rd position. Rocco doing a good job on his debut. Baki in 4th, Cohen in 5th, Montana in 6th, Alphatrix in 7th. Larkin still leads by 2 seconds. Droppier, by the way, has dropped Rocco completely. Here comes Montana, though, on the back of Cohen. Just warning him he's there. There's Alphatrix in behind as well. You can see him just trying to conserve the energy there into the braking zone of turn 3. And Montana well on the back here. QVR against NSX. So like it's like the 24 Hours charity event all over again, to be honest. And of course, I think there has already been a date put out for that. I'm sure it's the 19th of December for the 24 Hours of F1, done in the right way, not in the wrong way like the other one. Montana on the back of Cohen. Is he surely not going to go around the outside in towards turn 11? This is going to be bold for Montana, and he pulls it off, does he, around the outside? Beautiful stuff. Cohen just leaned on him slightly, but gives Alphatrix a superior run on Cohen. Cohen tries to come across, but look at Alphatrix's pure speed, right onto the back of Montana. Baki as well on the back of Rocco. For P3, Montana is through, Alphatrix through on Cohen. So now they've got another two to really try and get past. Cohen into the pits on a set of mediums. He's lasted 18 laps. He's going to go set of softs, I think, to the end of the race. Montana now on the back of Baki. Baki looking quite quick, though, running down the straight. Alphatrix will be hoping that Montana gets held up here down in towards turn 3, and there might be something for Alphatrix to have a go at. But now Montana on the back of Baki. Is he going to get the move done? Late on the brakes, diving down the inside. Montana-esque as it ran the outside of turn 4. It is. Montana's through, and he's up to 4th. And here comes Alphatrix down the inside of Baki into turn 5. Very difficult place to overtake, but makes it look pretty easy. Alphatrix through on Montana. These guys are parting the field like the Red Sea out on track. Larkin, by the way, is under very much sustained pressure from Droppier for the lead of the race as well. Larkin really dropping on this set of mediums that he's on, and now Droppier is on the back. Racing points against McLaren. About to go on to lap 19. You can see the graining occurring on the rear tyres of these cars, and now you can see Droppier physically getting the move done around the outside through the kink at turn 12. He's got the move done. Montana and Rocco, these guys have had a good battle in the past. As we switch camera angles, Montana is through and he's up to P3, puts now Rocco in favour to try and defend off Alphatrix for now, but Rocco will put up a staunch defence, I'm sure of that. Montana, Rocco is into the pits, Larkin into the pits as well, I'm not surprised. Now Montana freed up, and now Montana into second. Droppier is the only one not to pit, and he will be the only one not to, he's the only one not to come into the pit, and that's what I'm trying to say there. Montana now 5/10 a second. For second position, this is for the net lead of the race. There's not really much going on in terms of battlings further down the field. Gary, by the way, is ahead of Larkin, coming out of the pit lane quite comfortably. Cohen is going to slot in right in behind Larkin out on track, and Campbell is going to slot right in behind Rocco as well. Some quite interesting racing going on here. Campbell, Rocco to the inside line on a fresh set of softs. Through on Campbell, and he's through into the P12. So Campbell really dropping down the order. I mean, he started P3. I think he got caught up in that Dakar Kuki sort of incident through turn 5 on lap 1. So that means Campbell now down to 13th. I think he's out of the points if I'm not mistaken. Alphatrix now on the back of Montana once again. 0.5 of a second. And with just 10 more laps to go after this one, Droppier will come into the pits probably on lap 21 or 22, I would think, from that set of hards. He could come into the pits now, to be honest. And yes, he is. Droppier into the pits from the lead of the race. Montana now leads by 0.4 of a second, but Alphatrix now beginning to show that pace that we so dearly know of him. And now he's on to the back of Montana again. Not close enough down the inside in towards turn 1, but really looking now, chomping at the bit to try and get the move done. Montana uses up a little bit of overtake mode, I think, possibly. But pulls away in the straight line and hangs on to the lead of the race. Alphatrix in second. Toxic, by the way, judging by how this race has gone, Toxic now landed himself in a possible P3. He's on a set of mediums. I did say longer term Toxic would be in contention. 3.5 seconds away might seem quite a distance out on track, but trust me, it is not. And that means Montana and Alphatrix could be getting closed down at a rate of knots from Toxic. Toxic will have the quicker car. Good battle going on for 14th. While Ouija, I think, is fresh out the pit lane. Dakar and Killer Blue. Dakar trying to go around the outside. 3-second time penalty. Killer Blue around the outside of him, though. Goes up to 15th. So good battles beginning to happen up and down the field. Droppier on the back of XL Gary. And he can see where this one's going to go. Gary has been mugged down the inside. And Droppier is through and he's up into 7th position. Alphatrix on the back of Montana, though. Don't know where to turn. I'm going to try and provide you with as many battles as possible. Trust me, Alphatrix on the back of Montana, though. This is for the lead of the race. And I think Alphatrix might be just trying to test the waters slightly of Montana. Montana feels hard enough to defend to the inside line. You can see Alphatrix now running down the straight. Still on the back, but Toxic has caught 0.4 of a second that last lap around. And this is going to be quite close. Montana leads. Alphatrix second. Toxic third. Larkin on the back of Gary. Is the Brit going to get the move done on the Irishman? Down towards turn 1. Larkin has his ear in there. Gary fights off the attention for now, but switching back. It could be Larkin's move. It could be Gary. Battle the straight line. Battle the DRS. Down towards turn 3. Larkin turns in on Gary slightly. Gary not giving this up without a fight. But Larkin, inevitably on the fresh set of softs, is through and he's up into 8th position. Really good battle that. Good defence by Gary. Down to P9 now. He's dropping through the field. Maybe the hards beginning to come back to bite him earlier on in the race. He did pit on lap 7 for those tyres. Cohen trying to have a go there with Gary as well, just in behind. We'll cut back on board with the battle for the lead coming down the straight, but Cohen in the meantime is on the back of Gary and the Irishman. Really under pressure here from the Dutchman. He's just within DRS range on Larkin ahead. And now Cohen within DRS range on Gary, but doesn't look close enough. We'll cut on board with Alphatrix once again. 0.6 of a second. Montana really finding his groove here tonight. Alphatrix needs to find a way past the Swissman and break him into a million pieces. Not by taking him out or anything like that, but to try and master the strategy and try and master the art of overtaking, because Alphatrix needs to get the move done on the back of Montana. Cohen, by the way, is through on Gary. Easy move. He's up into P9. Rocco really impressing on his debut as well in P10 or P11. It could be P10 soon, though, with Gary dropping down the order. Montana, though, still leading the way. There is Toxic. 2.9 seconds, already gaining now the Brit on the back of his fellow countryman. Stappen in 4th. Could be looking quite good for AlphaTauri, possibly within the drivers, in the constructors standings. And Spine as well, getting on the back of Neo. Neo driving a very astute race. He is one of those guys that qualify further down the field. Could be on for a driver of the day. Spine cutting the corner there through turn 11 and now through turn 12. Is Spine gonna have the run at Neo? You bet he will. Is he gonna go for the move? No, is the answer to that. So Spine stays in behind. about to go on to lap 23. There will be no interviews or anything like that, by the way, tonight. I've got another commentary straight after this, so I'm going to have to literally hop on to that. Rocco was through on Gary. Backy is right on the back of Gary further down the field as well, but now Spine on the back of Neo running down the straight. We'll cut to the leaders as well. Alphatrix and Montana down towards turn 3. Not looking good enough. Backy, though, makes light work of Gary, and it looks like Waluigi might get Campbell down the straight as well, possibly the Belgian on the back here of the Mercedes man, the Scotsman. Running a good race, although he's in P13, and now Waluigi sizes up the move. Campbell, I think, just pulls to one side and say, yeah, you're coming through. Waluigi through, and he's up into P13. It's a good move there by Waluigi. Montana back on board with the leader. There's Alphatrix, 0.4 of a second. These guys have been so consistent in terms of their driving, literally not cutting any corners, literally forcing each other away from Toxic as well now. And with the final 6 laps to go after this one, it is going to be one hell of a race for the final 10, maybe 12 minutes left. Rocco, 3-second time penalty he's picked up. Cohen is getting onto the back of Larkin down the straight. Not close enough down in towards turn 13. But we'll cut back on board with the battle for the lead, because Alphatrix has surely got to conserve his ERS. Montana has not. Montana has not been conserving his ERS. 17% running down towards turn 3, and Alphatrix running at 70%. 70. Yeah, dropping it right on the back though of Spine. It could be 3 wide down towards turn 3. Spine going for the move on Neo. Really having an ear in there. Not really going for the move. Dropping it on the outside. Spine relinquishes the position down into P7. To be honest, it wasn't Neo's fault, and I think Neo actually makes a mistake. He might have picked up slight from wing damage, and now Droppier has gained 2 positions in the space of a corner, basically. So Droppier through, he's up to P5. Neo down to P6. Spine down to P7. The real chief loser in that. He went for a move that was always going to have a gap closing. So Neo, P6, Larkin, Spine and P7, Larkin trying to gain as well. But here comes Alphatrix on the back of Montana. This now is really becoming quite tense between these two. Montana is going to defend for his life. If you have seen him in a race like this, and in a situation like this, trust me, he will defend for his life. With 5 more laps to go, Alphatrix now feels the need to use overtake mode, but I don't think he's going to be close enough, or is he? Alphatrix, no, he's going to bump draft Montana coming through turn 1, and now we'll have the run through turn 3. Montana gets a superior run out though. Here comes Alphatrix. This is for the battle for the lead. This is former champion against current champion. Montana very late on the brakes. Alphatrix started out good. That receives a round of applause from me in the commentary box. Great defence by Montana, and he hangs on for the lead of the race. Alphatrix needs to find a way by, and quickly, because Montana, you know what he is like in Division 1. You know what he's like in a race-winning situation. He nearly goes off track. Concentrate, man. Don't focus on me. Focus on the race. Alphatrix now in the back of Montana. Goodness me, at a right moment, but Alphatrix now lining up Montana. Lap pressure tyres for Alphatrix is coming into play, but Montana again getting the run out of turn 12, and Alphatrix cannot find a way through, and these two beginning to battle is beginning to bring Toxic into play. Droppier is not entirely out of this either for P3, certainly. Quite a few 3-second time penalties being picked up. 4 more laps to go. We right on board with Spine on the back of Neo, not getting the move done. Focus on him though, and Montana again has got a superior run at the final corner, and he's going to remain in the lead down towards turn number 1. Spine though on the back of Neo, and again Montana out of turn 1, just looking on the minimap, he's 0.5 of a second away, and Alphatrix has got to try and really find a way through here. Spine as well, trying to find a way through on Neo. They're catching Verstappen. Neo is bringing Spine, who pitted on the same lap as Verstappen, into play here for a possible P5. So Neo really beginning to bring himself into contention. Back on board with the leaders though. Montana, 3.5 laps to go. Alphatrix, 5.5 cents away. This gap has literally remained within 4, maybe 5 tenths now, just dropping out to 6 tenths, and Alphatrix nearly drops it on the curb. Rare mistake possibly there from Alphatrix. He's now got to try and gain that momentum back, and now Montana has got double the amount of EOS. Alphatrix has got double the amount of EOS compared to Montana, but Montana is going to be putting up a great fight, I think. Alphatrix in second. And there's Toxic. Don't forget about him. He's on a fantastic race, Toxic. And if Alphatrix wins and Montana, they reverse positions, my prediction will be totally right, which is very rare. If you're playing the J-Med drinking game tonight, you'll be having your shots, I think, by the end of tonight. Montana leads the way onto lap 27. Alphatrix in second position. But again, Montana just really good through the corners. Alphatrix is trying his hardest and his heart out to try and break Montana. But judging by how this race is going, he could break his heart on the final 2 laps of the race. Neil now on the back of Verstappen. Not close enough. Cohen on the back of the Larkin as well is not close enough. It's right on board with Baki and Rocco. This is a fight actually for, what, 8th position in between 4 drivers. So Larkin, Cohen, Rocco, Baki fighting out for position. Really good race this though. Neil now on the back of Verstappen once again. 6 tenths of a second for the battle for the lead. I'll cut on board possibly with the battle for the lead. Neil very late on the brakes. Verstappen slightly early on the brakes. Just a slight misjudgment there. And now that brings Spine completely into play. And Spine, Neil just weaving, trying to get heat into the tyres, I think, there. Spine clips the wall. Neil, though, under pressure. Now Spine getting a fantastic run out of turn 12. You see the overspeed now compared to Neil. Spine down the inside line. He's going to have a half commitment. But Neil hangs it clean around the outside. Fair play to Spine. He could have got the move done there. But Neil back through and he's up into 6th position. Cohen now on the back of Larkin. They're gaining hand over fist on these guys as well. So this could really develop up. But now the battle for the lead once again develops up. It's 6 tenths of a second between Montana and Alphatrix. And to be honest, barring any penalties, I think Montana is looking good for the win here. Been a really impressive drive from the Swiss man out on track. Alphatrix has just not found a way through at all. He's got the pace, but he hasn't found a way through. Cohen, in the meantime, is finding a way through on Larkin, possibly, down in towards turn 3. Doesn't find the way through, and Larkin hangs on for position for 8th, but he runs wide, and now Cohen is going to have his superior run. Waluigi's through on Gary, and that's through turn 3 and 4, so good move there by Waluigi on the mini-map. But now comes the nitty-gritty. Larkin, 3-second time penalty. Neil on the back of Verstappen. Really, there's going to be 3, 4, maybe 5 battles perhaps that we're going to try and focus on in the final lap of the race. But we'll focus on this one first. It is the battle for the lead. It is Alphatrix and a lap fresher tyres than Montana. Against Montana, he's on a lap older tyres compared to Alphatrix. And Montana has driven this race very astutely, brilliantly. Alphatrix also has driven this race brilliantly. Cohen, by the way, down on the inside of Larkin, gets the move done. Larkin has a switch back on the mini-map. I'm watching it there. Larkin back through and he's up to 8th. Montana now under pressure. This is the time. This is the place for Alphatrix to try and get the move done. But it's not, and I think his only final chance is probably going to be down in towards turn 13. So Montana onto the final lap of the race leads. Neil trying to go around the outside on Verstappen, could switch it back. Around the outside of turn 2. Here comes Neo, the German against the Dutchman. No, the hammer's lost, and here comes Spine down the inside. Brilliant stuff by Spine. Can he get the move done? It's 3 wide. It's still side by side between Neo and Spine, and Neo gets the move done. So Neo gains 2 positions for the price of 1. Spine at the overspeed, too much overspeed, and he's through and he's up into P5 is Neo. Verstappen now 6th, but now Alphatrix on the back of Montana. This is the time and place for these two to get going. The final lap of the race, and they're going to lie it all on the line. But Montana quicker through turn 12. And Montana looks like, I think, he's done enough. Alphatrix has got to get a superior final sector in. He's got to focus this as if it's a qualifying lap once again. Montana ran the final 3 corners. He is hanging on for grit and life here. Dropier as well as gaining on Toxic just in behind, but Alphatrix ran the final corner. Montana round the final corner, barring any penalties. The Swiss man is going to win round 1 here of Division 1. Fantastic stuff. Montana defeats the current champion. Montana wins. Alphatrix second. Toxic has a mild amount of penalties. Dropier is third. Toxic in fourth. Neo getting past Verstappen. Here comes Spine on the back of Verstappen. Not close enough. There's going to be plenty of changes as they flash across our camera position. And I'll bring you up to speed as we get through. Luigi in 12th. Gary up to 11th. Backy down into 12th. Campbell now across the line. Not really his race. He got ruined by the Goldstein. He's across the line in 14th. Killer Blue across the line in 15th. And Dakar, our Division 2 commentator. You're going to be seeing Division 2 and Division 4 in just 10 minutes time. Dakar round the final corner to finish in P16. But that is it for tonight. And Montana and Alphatrix very consistent with each other. Let's see who got driver of the day. And it is Dropier who gets your driver of the day vote. So good race by Dropier. He finished in the end in P3. Really gained on Toxic in the final 2 laps of the race. But it is the Swiss man, Montana, who takes round 1, Division 1 of Season 4 here in Australia. See the podium celebrations begin. Fantastic race. Alphatrix in second. Dropier onto the top step of the podium as well. But my God, Montana had to work for that. Alphatrix keeping at him like the rash that couldn't go away. Alphatrix finishing second, and a great drive, as I say, by Dropier. Got to feel sorry for Toxic. He drops out of the podium positions because of penalties. But Montana, have you ever seen a closer finish than that in Division 1 for round 1? 0.3 of a second. Montana wins. From Alphatrix in second. Dropier, definitely driver of the day. 17th up to third. Great results from him. Toxic has finished in 4th with Neo in 5th. Verstappen in 6th. Cohen in 7th. Larkin in 8th. Spine in 9th. Only 0.5 of a second separating those two. With Rocco on his debut rounding off the top 10. Gary in 11th with Backy on his debut in 12th, Waluigi in 13th, Campbell in 14th, Killer Blue in 15th, and Dakar, who does get the fastest lap of the race, does pick up that extra point. He finishes in 16th. Bullet Boy and Kuka Games, the only two not to finish. Both of them crashed out on the first lap of the race. But that is it for us tonight here in Division 1. If you have loved the action here on Division 1, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to the channel. Tick that notification bell, of course, if you are brand new to League of Europe. And I'm sure you guys will really enjoy what we've got to come. As I say, Division 4 and Division 2 are going to be live. Dakar and Verstappen taking you through Division 2 and Division 4. Not sure who's commentating on Division 4, but I'm sure it'll be a great commentary nonetheless. But for myself, JamesHead14, I'm going to bid you farewell. Please take care of yourselves, and I will see you next week for round 2 of the championship here in Division 1. So for now, goodbye.